Hello guys, how are you all doing? So yesterday was a weird day. I don't know if any of you noticed, but was it the day before yesterday? Google, YouTube, Gmail, everything glitched out for about, I don't know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes or something. It's very unusual. I just had a really strange, nebulous feeling about that. And I'd be interested to hear what your take on that might be. Something has been coming to me really strongly, and it's a fucking conundrum. I think I'm doing this video more for myself in a way than, you know, even more than usual, because I say it's a conundrum because it's very tough, it's very hard, it's a massive leap of faith, which is a very difficult thing for people, soul travelers, who have lived such a difficult life, who have been so severely traumatized, and who are in full awareness of that. There are plenty of people who are really traumatized, but they are not in awareness of that at all. They're not really in that and with understanding. See, the sacred work is to come to a deep understanding, a deep knowing of what this realm is and what it has done to us, but to not stay stuck there, to not let it you know, I always say consciousness creates reality. I feel that with all my heart, but saying it like that is not quite true, because the truth is so incredible and it is so quantum that it cannot be put into words. The minute you conceptualize something, you limit it. You've already lost it. You really just have. And that's what makes this difficult. That is what this journey is to do the sacred work, to really go within and to get to a place where you understand that ultimately we hold the power within us, that the dark side uses trauma to keep us trapped and to keep us enslaved and to keep us from accessing our light, our power. It literally has done it's a massive psyop, people, there's no doubt about it. Now, what happened was, there's quite a few weird things that have been taking place, right? But the parliament in Britain, as some of you probably are aware, that there is this massive vaccine rollout business supposedly happening here in the UK. And yesterday Parliament supposedly again was debating on whether to give people that are willingly allowing themselves to be vaccinated to issue them with a pass, effectively saying that, okay, I have been vaccinated, you know, blah blah, and to also impose restrictions on people that have not been vaccinated. Now, this is of course really heavy duty shit, and it's laden with fear, with fear and with loathing, and absolutely, and the whole field, the energetic field right now feels really heavy. It feels very heavy and very dense and very, very dark, and it is that's how the dark side works. You know, it imposes fear, and it does this very successfully because of trauma. Because I've said this before and I'll say it again, trauma is the gateway, right? Anyway, I wrote a little bit about this debate, suppose it, on a Facebook forum that I am on, because I was, admittedly, in a state of what the fuck. And there was this person who's also a member of this group who wrote a kind of retort to the piece that I wrote, and it was all about the law of attraction and how you should just imagine the outcome that you want to manifest, and you know, and just don't feel the fear, and you know, don't feel your feelings, don't feel the fear, and just focus on the positive and manifest. And it was all very law of attraction, and I thought, well, it really got my hackles up at first. Reaction, very reactionary. I was in a really reactionary state, and it really got my hackles up, and I thought, well, I clicked on the name of the person and had a look on their Facebook page. And you know, when you're dealing with somebody who does a lot of talking but who really doesn't do the walking, and who also really just isn't that deeply in, who doesn't really go within and do the work, really get into it, you know. A typical soul traveler is a being that knows the dark side, that gets to know the ins and outs of the dark side, of what it is, how it works. It's about understanding that the dark side uses our trauma, which is programming, which is mind control, which is electromagnetic device based. I've said this before. It uses that against us because it is afraid of us, because it knows we are powerful, and it will do anything it can to stop us from self-actualizing. And to that end, it's doing what it's doing to that very end. It's what also was given to me was that there are all these different layers to this experience, and that there are all these different beings at varying different states of understanding. Some have a little bit, some have a lot of understanding. But these beings, as it were, are situated throughout all the different layers, doing exactly what they need to be doing. Like a logistic enterprise of souls. And even though that comment that was left underneath the piece that I wrote was at first glance upsetting to me, because it did seem to me quite clear that the person didn't really know what they're talking about, it became evident to me that I was meant to read that comment. That comment was meant to be there, and I was meant to get over myself already and to understand that there was a seed, a pearl of beautiful truth in it. Because ultimately, if we soul travelers have the power, we need to choose infinite unconditional love and creativity and light. We need to choose to trust that light which lies within us, which is powerful, which can reset and manifest the golden world, the new world, the reset, which can put paid to evil and its dominion here once and for all. It can and it will. But if we continue to choose to align ourselves with our inner, with the fear, with the, oh, evil always wins and there's nothing I can do, victimhood, with all that, with the dark side, with the dark generator, which uses, it uses our trauma against us. It is a knee-jerk reaction. It is what we have been used to our entire life. It has been our normal. Oh, well, that's life, isn't it? Life is hard and then you die, and evil always wins one way or another, you know. But it is a choice. It is a choice, and it is the hardest choice to make, because you sit there and you think, well, why should I choose love? Why should I choose light? There is no love and there is no light. Some people think that. I actually see that there is light. I see that there is love. I can look at my own journey, my, you know, everything that has happened, and, you know, and I can see the meaning of it. I can see that there is love. I can see that love has power. I can see how miraculous it is, how mysterious it is. I can see how I've been protected at crucial moments. I can see that even in the most difficult experiences that I have had, there has been meaning. I can see that for all the suffering, for all the torment, for all the horrendous experiences I have had, that all of it was meant to be. And I feel this today. The last few days I felt that very strongly. It's like, Anika, you can say, oh, this person did that to me and that person did that to me, because all of that's been coming up, you know, past relationships, my family, the schools that I went to, all of it, you know. And I was really in that victim place of, well, they did this to me and they did that to me, and you know, this partner that I had, this guy many years ago, just, and that partner, and who, you know, I hate that word actually, partner, I hate that word, but anyway, you know, boyfriend doesn't really cut it either. But it became very clear that these people did exactly what they needed to do. They really did. They could not have done it in any other way. They were meant to be the villain in my life. I was meant to have that experience. I was meant to have that sense of abandonment, of rejection. I was meant to feel that sense of shame. I was meant to go over there and do that. Even though it was very negative behavior, I was meant to get myself stuck there, and I was meant to have that horrendous, torturous experience over there. Because all of it has given me exactly what I needed in terms of wisdom, insight of what evil truly is, of all these different nuances, of this great game, this experience of good versus evil. Yeah? Everything that I've been through, everything that I've experienced, all of it, the good as well as the bad. And it's so easy, oh boy, it's so easy. The dark generators there saying, oh, it's all bad, there's not been any good. It actually intercepts everything good and keeps it from you when you're really going through one of the purges. You know, you can't even remember the good stuff, the meaning, the synchronicity, those eureka moments, those paradigm shattering insights, all of it. It literally just puts like a dark wall in between you and that meaning and that sense of power, that sense of, I know this is all meant to be and it's all going to be okay. Because something happens and you get triggered in a big way, and Every time that happens, it means that there is more trauma that needs to be healed. There is more darkness that needs to be transmuted. And so you are going to feel really, really shitty. You may end up saying something or doing something that you don't really want to say and that you don't really want to do. And it may terrify you, because it may be like that's a sign, a symptom, yet again, that, oh, well, you look how powerless you are and you've gotten it wrong again, and it will use that against you too. It will do that, you know? And it makes you feel as if you've lost. It makes you feel like, okay, well, I'm just a fucking mess. I'm a total fucking mess. I'm a fuck up. I never get anything right. Oh my fucking God. What am I going to do? And you fall into this never-ending, dark, bottomless pit of despair and fear and terror. And there you are, seemingly feeding the darkness. And you will get these people coming at you then, saying, oh, you shouldn't be feeling this way. Now you're feeding the darkness and you're manifesting bad things. You're going to manifest all this horrible, nasty shit. You should be happy and in the light, and you should feel this faith. Well, that's really just not how it works. There's always, you know, the dark side when it comes to that, you know, like the New Age. It uses truth, but of course it twists it, because it, you know, that's what it does. Of course it does. There is some truth to the law of attraction, but it's not true that we can bypass our trauma and just be happy and manifest whatever we want. Because people like that don't actually know what they want. They may want something that is very much on a mundane level. The little things. Well, I want some money, or I want a car, or I want something. I want a nice boyfriend who will treat me right. And that's fine for some people, because that is all they're here to do. They are here to be on that level and to achieve that, and to play around with that, like a little kid with the building blocks. Fine, leave them to it. People like that generally also think that they need to dictate to others how they should live their life and what they should be doing and what they should be thinking. They're still very fear-based, so that when they come across a soul traveler going through some really deep inner work, feeling like absolute shit, feeling overcome by terror, by fear, by sorrow and grief, remembering that horrific childhood, remembering these painful relationships, the abandonment, the rejection. They think, oh, you're getting it all wrong, you're manifesting bad things, and how dare you, and they get very irate and they get very upset and they get a bit this and they get a bit that, which then triggers you and makes you, how dare you speak to me like that? Because of course people like that do not understand the sacred work of a true soul traveler, going deeply within, really going into that trauma, knowing it, understanding it, working through it. And this can take hours, this can take days, this can take weeks or months, and it is, wow. Severe depression, insomnia, physical ailments, anxiety, just wow, just there are no words for that. That is the sacred work, because that is how manifesting works. You cannot manifest anything in the bigger arena when you are still bogged down with trauma that lies there unresolved, because it will muddy the waters, it will hijack anything like that. It simply just will. To truly manifest, one needs to understand first and foremost that trauma has to be healed. It has to be transmuted. It has to, the dark imprints have to be neutralized. These dark entity attachments have to be neutralized. The dark generator latches on to the trauma. It gets triggered. We see what it is. We feel it. We are in it for some time, for as long as we are in it, for as long as that's going to take for us to transmute that. It can manifest as physical ailments. That seems to be happening for a lot of people right now. Are they being negative and manifesting that? No. They are doing the sacred work. They are transmuting, they are healing, they are neutralizing, and they are doing that, each and every one of them, in their very own unique way. And no motherfucker has the right to tell them otherwise. They don't. But they will. And often enough they don't do that because they're bad people. No, they do it because they as yet do not understand. They still think, oh well, this is how it works and everybody has to do it like this. Yes. And it's no. Because the deeper you go and the more you heal, the more your vision expands. You'll understand what this is, what this experience is all about. And it is a very, very intimate, individual thing. Very, very much so. But the younger ones, the less experienced ones, do not understand that concept just yet. They're still very black and white. This experience teaches you to think like that. It's black, it's white, it's either good or it's evil. It's actually not. It's an interplay of dark versus light, always. Some darkness leads to light. Some light leads to darkness. Some people say the wrong thing, but it's for the right reasons. Some people say the right thing, but for the wrong reasons. That comment came from, in my humble opinion, hey, I could be wrong about that as well, you know, but it came from a place of ignorance. It sounded nice, but it came from a person who talks a lot, but who doesn't as yet know how to walk properly. Just a minute, guys. But it was something all the same that I needed to hear. And once I got through the resistance, because it did trigger quite a lot of stuff in me that I had to wade through, I was able to choose to utilize it, and it gave me a beautiful, beautiful pearl of truth. It said to me very clearly that, yes, Anika, where you focus your attention, your power, your presence now will have great influence. You can choose darkness, defeat, self-hate, self-attack, believing that, well, we're lost, we're doomed, we're finished, look at everything that's happening, that's a sign, we're fucked, we're finished, we're doomed. Or you can see what's happening on the external plane merely as an expression of what is happening on the internal plane. Because the war, guys, is in here, not out there. Yeah, it is out there, but that's a manifestation of what's happening in our consciousness, you see. We came into this place, right? Literally, whoosh. You're a baby, you come out of the birth canal. You inherit the ancestral darkness. Many years later, when you've gone through all of the layers of it, you'll understand what that is and why. That it was the blueprint, you see. It was the blueprint all along. You're going to experience this. Your mother is going to be that type of person, and you're going to inherit this ancestral shit, and you're going to go through this, and it's going to make you feel like that, and you're going to go there, and you're going to make that decision, and so forth, and so forth, and so on, and so on. And there's going to be a pattern there, so you're going to attract those types of people over and over again until you woo, and all of that. It's like going into a library and picking a shitload of books that you have to read. in order to gain the knowledge of good and evil, so that you may then know exactly what to do at the right moment. Because that is really what this is about. The amount of times where we get it horrendously wrong. And you think, well, that's it now. I'm done. Only to find out later that it wasn't like that at all. You were meant to get it wrong. We get it wrong so that we get it right. These are all stepping stones. These are all important pieces of the jigsaw, of the puzzle. Even the people that as yet do not understand on your level, right? That antagonize the fuck out of you. Because it's like, look, love, it's not about getting a nice shiny car. It's not about the perfect boyfriend. It's not about, oh, I wish I had some money or blah. It isn't about that. This is so much bigger than that. But for them, maybe it isn't. For them, they came into this duality game, inversion game, to do that. Which is entirely fine. But because they do not have the higher levels understanding just yet, they still think a certain way. They think, well, this is how it is. It's still quite mass consciousness-ish. And so they will come at you telling you that, well, you must be getting it wrong. You should be doing this and you should be doing that. And also, because this is a parasitical world, it's like these people have a hole inside them, right? The inversion model. I need something. So telling other people they're getting it wrong and telling other people how they should be conducting themselves makes them feel better about themselves. We have all done this. It is how the inversion world works. And it's very hurtful when people do that. Because it's like, well, you're feeding off me now for your own self-aggrandizement, which you do because you're not in full awareness of the whole within you, of the inversion thing. But you see, like I said, we've all done this. I have certainly done that. I have. So when this shit happens, then we have a choice. We can see it as, well, I'm being attacked, you fucking arsehole, this, that and the other. Or we can say, well, actually, what can I learn from this? And I did that yesterday. And every time you manage to get through the initial reaction of bile and rage and anger and how dare you and all of this ego bullshit, as well, then you can see the wisdom and you can see, there's a gift in it. It's whether we allow ourselves to receive the gift. First we have to unwrap the gift, meaning we have to get through the initial reaction within us, which is trauma-fueled, trauma-based, Because we are, in a sense, we are all in service to each other here. I really feel that. How that service is provided can be very arbitrary and can at first seem quite negative, like somebody's having a go at you. Sometimes they are having a go at you, but they're still providing a service. If you continue to see it as an attack, if you continue to see it as I'm being victimized or I'm being ridiculed or I'm being made to look like a fool, everything I felt, and you're going to stay with that, then you're not going to receive the gift. But when you allow yourself to feel the emotional triggers and to work through that and transmute that, and then you are able to unwrap the actual gift, it's like, wow, brilliant. And it makes you feel really, really good. And it shows you that the light is powerful. Not in the same way as evil. It doesn't force. It doesn't kick down doors. It has wisdom, it has patience, it has due diligence. this has everything, and I mean everything to do with self-mastery. It really just does. The number 33 is coming up all the time now, and it is the number of self-mastery, you know, the master number. Do not let the dark side define you. Do not let it inform your opinions, your beliefs. Do not let it undermine and hijack your perception. Do not let it sit in the driver's seat of your consciousness and create evil shit. Understand that it's not black and white, but that we are all logistically situated where we are for a reason. And if it comes to you in a certain way that at first evokes a strong visceral negative reaction, then that is good, because it shows you something that you can work with tangibly, that you can transmute, that you can love yourself into healing, to receive the inherent gift of it, I feel. Because, you know, it is a choice. We can choose to be a victim, we can choose, and that will always bring you to a place of hatred, of conflict within yourself, against yourself, but also toward the other, right? I mean, I think about myself, I was like, say, I don't know, 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago, and then the way I used to think then, the way I saw things then, the way I understood things then, was, the way I look at it now, quite stupid. It's like, well, how could you have thought that way? Well, I did then, because there was still a shitload of trauma, like heavy, dense, compacted earth, oppressing me and getting in the way of my perception. I couldn't see clearly, I didn't understand. You know, and I used to get very agitated at certain people on YouTube or just anywhere that had perhaps some understanding of higher things that I did not have access to at the time. And so when these people talked about these higher things, I'd be like, well, what the fuck? You're full of shit. I used to get, you know, yeah, because that is what mass consciousness does. Trauma-based consciousness does that. It is like a small child. If we have compassion for ourselves and our foibles and our journey and our struggles and our grief and our sorrow and our fear and our rage and our hate, if we have compassion for that, we can also learn to have it for others. And that is, of course, the catch-22. You know that you still have to learn to love yourself more when you are not loving other people but getting angry at them for being where they are at, and when you feel threatened by that, you know that, yes, okay, yeah, I've still got a ways to go to, because somebody who's in a state of harmony within themselves, who has brought themselves really, really home, who is fully in situ, as it were, their true self in all its glory and all its power, doesn't see any of that as a threat, doesn't feel like a victim, but says, thank you, yes, wise there, that's good, I will utilize that, I will take that within me. But of course, then again, they would have learned those lessons. It's such a nebulous, weird experience, people. There's no denying that fact, but I know this much. We choose in every moment of every day, and sometimes that choice has to be deferred for a little while whilst we go through the tortuous process of the healing, of the neutralizing, of the transmutations. There is a lot of trauma, there is a lot of electromagnetic device hijacking going on. That is why I would just think positive thoughts never works. It doesn't work, people. It never has. Of course not. Because behind the scenes we have the dark generator hooking in to your trauma, muddying the waters. It will happen even on a subconscious level. You won't even be aware of it. I mean, I know there are people who are really big on the law of attraction, who bang on about it. Oh, well, it worked for me because look, I've got so much money and I've got this and I've got that. And it's like, well, that's good for you. Brilliant. You know, I'm not interested in that. I am here to manifest far, far bigger things. Because I see what this is, and I look at this world, and my heart is wounded for my animal brothers and animal sisters. My heart is wounded for nature. My heart is wounded for the souled beings that are here. I see what is possible, which I cannot put into words. But even on a mundane level, there is no denying the fact that everything has been withheld from us, that there is no need for there to be any disease, there is no need for us to grow old so quickly, there is no need for us to have to earn money for a living, there's no need for us to all live on top of each other, there's no need for tarmac roads, there's no need for cars killing animals on the roadsides, there's no need for poisonous toxic food and corporations. There's no need for us to be afraid of each other and to hate each other because, oh, so-and-so might take what's mine. There's no need for all these race wars, and that's another thing that's really been coming up that agitates the fuck out of me. Because all of a sudden, white people are all evil. I had this altercation on Facebook with somebody, and somebody of colour, which again, aren't we all of colour? We all have colours, you know, and I'm not white. I'm sort of like a yellowy colour, and then you get redhead people and they're kind of a pinky colour, and then you get African American people which might not even be African. They might actually have been in America all along, who knows, but their skin colour can be light brown, dark brown, you know. There's a tribe in Africa, they are blue, black, their skin is black like ebony, and you know, they've been playing this divide and conquer game for so long, and it's like this person actually said to me, well, every time I look at slavery, it's all white people who did it, and I would say that, yeah, there's probably a lot of truth to that, but this is also a person that knows that history, as we have been told it, is a lie. So what exactly has happened? You know, slavery has been going on for a very long time. It's evil. It's parasitism. Regardless of what colour your skin is, regardless of where you were born, you know, what truly matters is whether you're sold or not. What truly matters is that you have a soul destiny, that you have this sacred blueprint. It's that you do the sacred work. And if you're being triggered because you came from a line of people that were severely abused by another group of people, you can sit there again and do the whole victim thing. But it's not going to serve you, you know. People have done bad things to each other. We've all been had, we've all been manipulated. We have a shitload of highly non-soul beings that don't really have any kind of empathy, and you know, if you look at sort of the way they used to what's the word, you know, slavery. Oh, well, you know, it says so in the Bible, and it's confirmation bias at the end of the day, you know, and that is mass consciousness. Well, I deeply down, I know that what I'm doing is wrong, but I'm just gonna ignore that and say it's right because it said so in the Bible, even though it never did, you know. We've all been trapped in ways of thinking and feeling and behaving towards each other that that feeds the beast one way or another. And that's what this is all about. That is what the sacred work is, to uncover it all and to work through these layers of guilt and of shame and of hate and of victimhood and of vengeance and all of it. We're souled beings. You have this body for a reason. It's part of your blueprint. You chose this particular lineage, ancestry, for a reason. It's part of your blueprint. The dark side loves division. It loves strife. It loves conflict because it knows we are powerful, and it hates us and it envies us because evil is the exact opposite of everything that we are. This is the game that it plays. See through it, people. Please do. Honor the differences. Honor true culture, true creativity, you know? Take people on an individual basis, regardless of what they look like, regardless of the colour of their skin. And don't go into this nonsense about, well, your ancestors did this to my ancestors, and so I'm going to sit with that and hate you, because that is just pure poison. This is the end game, people. This is the end game, and this is the time where everything is literally being, you know, like how they make an essential oil, and they refine and refine and refine and refine and purging it out and purging out all the poisons and all the toxins and all the dilutions. All of it is being literally purged out, refined, diluted, like just. It's a process, it's a refinery, it's a forge. Even whilst we feel so defeated, because on the external plane it looks that way, it feeds that to us. It wants us to feel that way, it wants us to believe that and to sit with that. Yeah, that's how it is. But even in the middle of that overwhelming sense of defeat and despair and hopelessness and trauma and the confusion and the chaos, even in the middle of that, we can choose. We can choose to keep having faith in the power of the good, the power of the light, the power of harmony, of unity, of infinite creativity, of everything working out beautifully. Because truly I feel that that is what this is. Light always wins. Evil is like a tiny black bead on a sea of light, people. Something that is truly powerful does not have any need of anything. It simply is. It doesn't need to terrorize, it doesn't need to frighten, it doesn't need to manipulate, it doesn't need to gaslight, it doesn't need to hijack, it doesn't need to divide, it doesn't need to manipulate. Because it intrinsically is whole. It is in a state of harmony and perfection. Why would it need to do any of that shit? It doesn't need to. We came here to have this experience. Some soul travelers are coming to the end of this experience. We are going to be in a prime position to manifest the greatest miracle ever here. The reset. It's going to be beyond logic. It's going to be beyond the rational mind. It's going to be beyond the left brain paradigm. It's going to be beyond words, but it will be so profoundly beautiful and incredible, and such a powerful affirmation of infinite unconditional love and creativity, of union, unity, belonging, harmony, beauty and goodness and infinite perfection unfolding creatively. Some of us may do this incrementally. We want to really savor the moment, so let's bring into form some miracles and some magic. Others may want to do it boom, right? We exist in different layers, in different timelines, in different dimensions. This is a quantum reality, people. It's not one thing. We have our work cut out for us. We have choices to make. We have faith to keep, trust to cultivate. And after what we've been through and the trauma that we have experienced, taking that leap of faith is what it all boils down to. That's it. If you continue to choose the dark side, believing that that is how it is, things are not going to be okay, you failed, evil's won, then I suppose maybe that is what you will manifest on some level. If, however, you're getting to a point now where you're beginning, like me, only in the early stages, to understand that it is which side you choose that will ultimately manifest in all its glory, light or dark, then you'll understand that despite what it looks like and despite what it feels like, that doesn't necessarily mean, well, that is how it is then. Appearances are incredibly deceptive, people. Despite all of that, I know for myself, I choose to trust in the power of the light. I am of that power. It is who and what I am. It's what I'm here to do, to bring it into form, to manifest that. Something incredible, something beyond words. I'm not interested in manifesting a bit of money or a nice car. Then again, if you want to take this journey by increments, you might start by manifesting a miraculous healing of your body. You might start by manifesting, I don't know, something that you yourself would like to see happen. But one way or another, according to our choices now, what we focus our intent on, even yet whilst doing the work and perhaps feeling horribly depressed, anxious, busy transmuting, being in physical pain, even whilst you're experiencing all of that, you can still hold the light. You can still have the intent, the focus. It's like being in the middle of a fucking storm of epic proportions, and it's in the middle of the night and there's flashes of lightning and it's raining and it's freezing cold and the storm is blowing and you're freezing cold, and yet you can see the North Star and you are focused on that. And it's in your heart and it's in your belly and it's in your hair, in your third eye, and you know the truth. It is who you are. And you hold it, it holds you. And you know that it may take a little time of holding that focus, that things may not necessarily come to fruition straight away, that you may need to battle it out here, whilst holding that focus. But that surely all shall be beautifully well yet again. That is our purpose, you see. And we do this in our own way, on our own level, dimension, timeline, quantum. We do that. And we help each other. And that help doesn't always look like help. Sometimes it looks like you're being attacked, like somebody's being an asshole. And they may well be being an asshole, but at the same time they're helping you. It's an interesting paradigm, people. We are not enemies, you know. We are family. We came here to do this together. We teach each other as we go along. We teach ourselves as we go along. And if we can get through those barriers of defensiveness, because you've hurt my feelings and how dare you speak to me like that. If you can get through those barriers and see the gift and receive that gift, then we will really thrive on that. That will really nourish us. I know it did me. There was a shitload of yeah, all of that, you know. But I got through it. And I received the gift inherently, and it's a beautiful thing. So, yeah. I know it's hard. I know it's feeling really heavy. But pay attention, people, pay attention, because all is not as it seems at all. The matrix is malfunctioning. The helix are malfunctioning. Alright? When Google and YouTube and Gmail are taken out, that tells me, because it was on the BBC website as well. I didn't look that up, but a friend of mine said, oh, by the way, I looked up that Google thing, and it was on the BBC website, but it didn't tell us what it was all about. And it's like, no, well, it wouldn't, would it? And it was interesting, because then I decided this morning to have a look on the BBC website, and I was on it for less than 3 seconds, and ooh, I felt the thick, heavy, evil poison that constitutes the BBC. And it made me feel actually really nauseous. I actually felt violently sick and nauseous, and it was like, wow, why did I do that? And it wasn't even on there. Something is happening, people. It's difficult because excuse me, we can't put our finger on it. We can't say, oh, I know exactly what's going on. No, we don't. And that is sort of a bit of a problem, because it means we are flying by the seat of our pants. It all comes down to faith and trust. And that's difficult because we've been so fucking traumatized. It is our uncomfortable comfort zone. We'll just stay with the darkness and believe that everything is going to go to pot because I feel safe there, which you're not safe there. You're safe in the light, having faith and trusting that this is all meaningful and that it's all going to work out. That's where you are safe. That is choosing love, and love protects. I do feel that. But every day you're being told the opposite. I know what the dark generator is saying, and I know what's going on. But maintain your focus, soul travelers, alright? Stay in the light. Every now and then we lose it. I lost it a bit yesterday, and then thanks to the ministrations of another soul traveler out there, I was able to regain my balance a little bit. Then this morning I was out of balance again. I was in a really bad state. And then I managed to come back into it again. You see, it's a bit like that at the moment, but I think that's fine. That is actually par for the course. So that's it for today. All my love to all of you.